Everyone, it is Ali and Lois Shoe from Lifestyle After Five, and we got an exciting live stream happening tonight. You don't want to miss it. You know what time it is. It is Wednesday, another Wednesday. Welcome on, Lois Shoe.
Happy to be back. Normally, y'all don't ever see me, but I'm here. I'm here for right now, at least. So tonight, we're gonna talk about how over-sexualizing is destroying modern love, y'all. It's kind of crazy. This topic is probably one of the most out there topics, considering I don't really look at relationships as over-sexualized in the internet, but I guess it is. So we'll see what happens.
So tonight we're gonna uncover the hidden impacts of over-sexualization in media and everyday life and how it shapes our relationships. I didn't know that porn does so much to you. The porn effect, it really does something to your brain, the dopamines or whatever that can really cause havoc on a relationship as well as the male psyche.
Yo, don't even get me started. But just join us for these real life stories, surprising statistics like we always come with, practical strategies, because that's why we're here, for the solutions, not to complain. And we're trying to foster healthier relationships through our show. So y'all check it out.
Great. We'll see you tonight, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and of course on the web at www.aliafter5. Join us. Like, subscribe, give us some comments, and you see the QR code if you want to join our Discord.
Yes. Let's make our relationships stronger together through Lifestyle After 5. We'll see y'all
see you tonight. Let's go learn something together.
Right. Peace, everybody.
Welcome. It's another Wednesday. You're one of your hosts, Ali. Got MD Red around there. What's going on, MD Red?
What's going on, fam?
Of course, we got Vanna.
Pleasure as always, my friends.
Danielle, the Crypt Keeper, she got called out for business tonight. So, who knows? She's somewhere in the underworld doing
she got a big girl job.
Oh, yeah. So she couldn't be with us. So, hey, we're going to dial in. I can't even speak right now.
That bodes well.
I know. Something's going around. We're going to dive deep into the complexities of modern love relationships and, the daily grind. I been researching this topic, so I didn't realize, some of the things that go on in our mental and in our psyche, such as the effects that simple things like just watching porn, strolling through Instagram, looking at the Instagram models. And, I'm speaking from a male point of view, more so from a man, but I didn't realize, it also can affect women. And, that includes playing with toys and everything and how it can affect them on the opposite side of a relationship. So, over-sexualization is a problem, and I would say a growing problem, because you over-sexualize now by the time you, maybe 12, 11, if not younger.
Yeah, like media's TV shows, they start sexualizing children younger and younger. I, for one, am personally very against children beauty pageants. Because that is one thing that can seriously mess with a young girl's self-image, and like especially at an age where so much about your life is how the world is reacting to you. When you are just thrown into a gauntlet of a situation that everything about your value, how successful you are in this, is how much of a pretty show you can put on, how much you could say yes sir, no sir, and basically be very submissive and subservient.
I don't like that there's some of those girls are under 10 and you got them in makeup and high heels and these short dresses and some of the outfits that they got. It's
like, I remember a Honey Boo Boo Child and that whole catastrophe.
I remember one of those little girls got abducted, bro. You know what I'm saying? So when you make them look grown, it's for the creeps, and all they see is makeup and high heels. They don't realize she's 5.
No, they probably actually do, because like you've got these men out here that's saying like, if she's old enough to pee, she's old enough for me.
Well, those are molesters. So, that's the thing. Those they're creeps. Those are molesters.
Generalized mindset.
That's that bullshit.
No, that's not generalized. That was a molester.
Hell nah.
Those
That's
are
something wrong with
certified
that motherfucker.
pedophiles. That is not a generalized mindset. That's certified pedophiles.
Yeah, it's something. If
Yeah,
a motherfucker say that, something wrong
yeah,
with their ass.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
You
because you
don't
come
hang
out the
around with
womb
me if you
peeing.
say that. No, we're not
Exactly.
friends. You're not like us.
Hell
That's
no.
what I'm talking about. Yeah,
No,
take that on somewhere else.
that's a different podcast discussion. It's like how the
Yeah,
laws are
Hell
changing and
yeah.
stuff.
yeah. They make prisons for that. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you're a young girl or you around somebody that say that, hide
Run.
your daughters. Hell,
For
in
real.
today's hide your son. Shit,
Right.
No, no,
hide
Yeah,
everything.
you
we're
right,
gonna
bro.
quote the man back from 2008. Hide your kids, hide your wives, and hide your husbands because
Yeah.
Man, they
they're
out here,
going after
boy.
everybody out here.
So we're gonna start with a little fact of fiction. Do you think, and I'm gonna ask you first, I guess Andy said you MD Red. Do you think that over sexualization is a thing and that it really exists, or is just something that people make up or use as an excuse?
No, it's definitely a thing. I was looking at some of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just like this, like what you said about watching porn. Like, all right, so we can go back. Like from a male's perspective, our number one thing is in our genes to reproduce. So when you watching porn and shit, like you already hypersexualized already just from being a man. So when you fucking looking at porn and shit all day, all you trying to do is find somebody to do that to. Like it's really like clicking on like, oh my god, I need some ass right now. Like, dude, I don't see why people go. I can't watch porn. Even strip clubs.
Yeah, I
Like
don't like strip.
I don't go to strip clubs like that. I mean, because it's just I
I
don't
didn't
know,
think
man.
about that. I did not think about strip clubs. You are right because there are some guys that go and throw away $400-500 in strip clubs. And even when I was in the military and I was in Japan, they used to have these juicy bars, and you have these young airmen that would go down there at that time and spend all their phone bill money uh,
Mm-hmm.
it, in these juicy bars. But even if you don't go to strip clubs or anything, the act of masturbation does something because in your mind it can't tell the difference. So in your mind, you are actually having sex with this woman or women, or in the case of a woman, these men, whatever.
Yeah, because you fantasizing about the shit.
Yeah, you fantasizing with them, and so it's actually setting. And I heard Dr. Umar Johnson, Dr. Umar talk about this when he said, when you start dealing with someone else, you start to set expectations up in your mind.
No,
So
you're right.
now you got this expectation of this porn star or this model, whatever you're looking at in your mind, but then you come home and you got reality,
Yeah, but
and it don't
you want them
line
to
up.
perform like that. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, so this is why you got a lot of people younger that's having to use Viagra and some of those pills that we talked about. That royal jelly and
Yeah,
those different male and hand. That's why that market is at an all time high right now because men are way over sexualized.
yeah. And people don't realize they don't know how to tell the difference between intimacy and sex. It's not the same.
That is absolutely true because what what one issue with the relationships is that when we see relationships in like movies and stuff, we see the build up, we see the confession, we see the struggle and the get together. Very rarely do we have depictions of what occurs after the relationships, the struggle of actually living your everyday life with another person who has up until this point lived their life entirely.
Yeah,
Because there's there's a lot of unknown that goes into what happens in the relationship outside of the bedroom, because there's also the vulnerability of, like, I don't know what to really do with this person outside of all of that. And that comes into the other expectations of what is a relationship. And this is what I come back to all the time, which is communication. You have to communicate not even just with your partner, but with yourself about
Hmm.
how you are feeling, what you are needing in this relationship. Is it fulfilling what you desire? And if
But
not,
That
There
sounds easy, but I'm just saying that
it's
that's
not.
it sounds easy.
It's
That's
fucking not.
that's cookie cutter advice that most people get from a church. You know, if you go to church and no knock against the church or whatever, or you go to most counselors or whatever, they're gonna give you this general advice of you got to talk and you got to be open. But how do you come home and tell your woman that, you know what, I need you to flip upside down like my favorite porn star and swing from the ceiling, and that's what I'm into now, and that's what's turning me on, and can you try that?
Well, the harsh reality of it is, man, most people don't be in a relationship long enough to even learn how to communicate with each other.
But it's not just
That's
doing
true.
marriages. That's true. But this is marriages that go sour.
Yeah, I
You know how
mean,
many
like
people
I'm married,
relationships
and we
Just
just
because
now
you get
learn how to
married
communicate
doesn't
like
mean there's
that.
communication and happiness.
True.
but they started off that way.
Not
Maybe they
necessarily.
just started out
Yeah,
like
I
actually
would think
They
liking the
they
could have
just
fuck.
happened
started off.
really fast. It could have been kids. They might not have even known themselves before they got married. A lot of people make mistakes in their lives.
Well, it could have been a hypersexualized relationship, and they got married off of it.
That's good.
Yeah, but
So, but you know what? For the people, let's define what sexualization is. And the definition I have is it refers to the act or process of making something of someone's sexual and character of quality. It is when individuals are valued primarily for their sexual appeal or behavior, often at the expense of other characteristics. The definition is supported by the American Psychological Association.
Mm.
and you see this all the time in media, like from the woman in the movie being the what you want to acquire, the pawn, the playing piece between the antagonist and the protagonist. So the good guy always gets the girl. They always played it as the woman is like this accessory. And I have had this experience myself going around with people from a relationship that was really bad and
Yeah.
toxic to a
So,
relationship that was legitimately good.
but
I
two
felt
it
like
goes
an
both ways though.
accessory.
But that goes both ways though. But this is not necessarily a sex is a one way thing because women can be over sexualized, men can be over sexualized to women if that makes sense,
Absolutely, men can be
and the
over
reverse.
sexualized.
I mean, because like right now, how is a man to compete with and satisfy a woman when she can go buy a toy that's about 15 inches long that's never going down forever? Or now everybody's going crazy over these. As long as a woman got how can you compete with batteries? Or a woman go get a rose or whatever. And this is
God, I
what
love my
men.
rose.
So that's what I'm saying. They got roses and different toys, and she's fantasizing about somebody else because at the same time that men are looking on Instagram. I'm looking at women. Women are looking at men on Instagram and
You got
bodybuilders or
Thorin
whatever.
Bradley, you got Nick the Forge Bear. You've got
So
plenty of
it
people
it
out
it go yeah,
there.
so it goes both ways when it comes to the sexualization. So the thing, how can a man compete? Like I said, with a toy.
It's hard to compete.
So women get expectations as well. And like I said, and social media is really really have to be careful because like I said, there were a lot of women that were getting BBLs and everything else and saying they were getting it for men, and men was like, we never asked for anyone to get a BBL. That's not what we like. I mean, it's good to look
Right.
at, but it doesn't help when you put thirst trap pictures because it feeds into the over sexualized narrative. I mean, you got young girls now that's posting pictures and stuff of sexual nature on social media.
Yeah, and because like as someone who grew up in the age of the internet, seeing how this is just brought to the forefront younger and younger, more and more. That's just how we as women were taught to present ourselves from magazines, teaching you from very young ages with the makeup sets and everything. It was always dependent and stringent upon how we looked and presented ourselves, even from our own classmates. I
Mhm.
remember one of the worst days I had in school was I wore one of my favorite shirts. I loved it. It was so cute. I always felt good wearing this. And a classmate of mine wore the exact same shirt. And because she was more popular, a little skinnier than I was, the entire class was laughing at me saying that she wore it better. And this screwed with my head for even to this point in my life. The fact that I was wearing something that I legitimately
But
love, but someone else was wearing it and saying that they wore it better, making me feel like I was somehow less than my classmate, my peers, who I
That's
was
true.
supposed to be
But now,
equal with.
but now, when we look at couples in this deal, and because I know we gave our examples, but when we talked about connecting emotionally, and I don't know if MD Red you had brought that up or whatever in the communication part. How do we do that? What is intimacy in your
I,
opinion?
and my honestly, I think intimacy is actually just, I don't know, just being there for somebody, bro. Like caring for somebody. Like
Yeah,
me and my wife have a strong relationship, man. You know, and I'll use us as an example. You know, we we've been through a lot of shit. You know, and I'm upfront with her about everything. I tell her everything. So
So how do you get to that point?
you just
How do
gotta
you
say,
get to the
dude,
point of intimacy and communication?
it's a lot of fighting.
trust.
If you fighting for the relationship, then you'll get there.
You
If you
you
just in a
But
relationship
again,
just
I
to
want to get away from the cookie cutter generic answers that people mostly get. They say, I always say, well, you got to trust each other. Well, trust just don't happen. There's
well,
a
nah,
there
here's
are
something you
activities.
might not have heard before. You can only meet someone as deeply as you have met yourself. So that's why a lot of people have very shallow relationships with other people, is because they don't truly know themselves. So when it comes to intimacy and vulnerability, exposing yourself like that, you have to first know who you are and what you're exposing. And this is the journey that I have been on, to truly know myself so that I know what it is I need from a relationship, what it is I want from a relationship, and most importantly, what I don't want. And that takes a
But
level of awareness and
that's true.
vulnerability. That
But
takes a lot of work.
when we get to people that's already together, they're already in the thick of this thing now, and how do they turn it down? So I'm just going to tell you what the research say, because what people got to realize is we say trust, we say intimacy, we say communication, but we don't give actions to get
right.
there. 'Cause all those things take a series of actions to get there. And the only way that you're
Right.
going to turn it around is, one, you're going to have to detox yourself from your porn and from your fantasy, your crutch. It's kind of like getting off dope, because it is an addiction. It becomes
It
an
really
addiction.
is an
It's an
addiction.
addiction. So one, you got to kick your addiction, and it's not going to be easy. And once you kick that addiction, and however long it take you, I mean, it varies by person. But then you got to start spending time with the other person and start
Mhm.
off with small talk. I got to start off, first of all, put your phone down and start having deep conversations. Try to start off with just regular conversations, just talking to each other, because most people never talk. Like, you can see whole families going out to dinner, and everybody at dinner got a phone in their hand. They're not even looking and talking. Start doing things. Find out what you have in common. Start working the bond together by doing the things that you have in common.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's one way to start getting down the road to building trust.
I'm going through something similar like this right now with my brother. He just got back from the Air Force, and now we're having to get to know each other. And we're both of us are stuck on the same image that we had of each other when we were in high school. Like the day we left for graduation, the day I graduated was the day he left for basic training. And that was 7, 8 years ago now. And it's I have to understand that he now is a different person than who he was when I originally met him. And that can be a difficult issue in a relationship, is the fact that your partner has changed, whether it's been a month or 9 years. They
That's
are not the same person that you
but
once knew.
but you
And
still have to connect and find out where you all are. Wow, tell me sudden he had a female that was thinking about him yesterday and sent him a picture of her playing with a toy, and then called and asked him if he was off work and pull up. Oh, man, that sound like some. No,
Ooh.
you being over. Let me think. See, I'm already feeding in there. Get see the emotions of how it took me. Over sexualization. See, our look. See how I can see that picture in my mind of how
Right.
over sexualization works. Tell her, Tommy, she's overstimulating you. However, you know, you never hear a man complain about that, but I've heard women complain about men randomly dropping these types of pictures into their inbox or whatever,
Mm.
Because
DMing them
it's not
unsolicited.
attractive. I'm sorry. It's not attractive. I
Just
don't
depends
But
want
on.
but that's
It
the
just
difference
randomly
depends
between
on
a
who he's
man.
seeing
into.
the one-eyed
But,
snake
but
in
that's the
all of its
difference between a
glory.
man and a woman. A man doesn't really care. They just
It's
happen to
women
be.
out there that don't care.
Well, there are some, but like I
It's a
said,
lot of them, man. It's more than some. It's a lot of them.
but like I said, we're here to help them. And like I said, you got to prioritize your emotions in the relationship, and y'all got to get on a common ground, and you got to find balance. A house divided will not stand. You can't be at home thinking about Sally and he at home thinking about Sue. I mean,
Nah.
well, however they go, Dan. She
Not
thinking about Dan, and you thinking about
Hey, don't
Sally.
yuck their yums. She might be thinking about Sally. That
Well,
might
that's
be
true
the
too.
problem.
That's true too. It is 2024. But if you not at some point coming together and got a goal that's bigger than the two of you, then things are not gonna work.
Nah. It's always gonna be the same back and forth type shit.
I mean, like I said, and when we look deeper into it, you got to set clear boundaries, with media and talk. If you're gonna watch porn, watch it together. Maybe
And
that's
some
something you
couples
can do.
do.
Yeah, sometimes you
No,
get
because
into
like
it. That's my thing.
that's gonna be so awkward because my stuff is actually audio. It doesn't have most of my stuff isn't video. It's just audio.
Listen to it
So
together.
no, we're just gonna be like staring at a blank wall, just like, yeah, this is
Or
great.
maybe, or maybe y'all can create the visual as you listening to it. You got to be creative
Honey,
Definitely
I
got to
am.
be creative.
and seek out counselors. They make counselors for this stuff. Don't be afraid to go out and get help. Seek out a counselor. Engage in activities that build trust and emotions. Such as regular no phone dinners, as I
All right.
alluded to
So
earlier.
let me
Shared
ask you this.
hobbies.
Let me ask you this. So if they're a couple, if they're in a relationship and they doing it together, is it a problem?
No, as long as they
No,
whatever
that's
work.
hey. What happens behind closed doors is between those two people. If they are consenting adults, doesn't fucking matter. Anyone outside of the relationship, their
Yeah.
opinion is literally invalid.
Keeping elders out your business is definitely going to help because people can get into your head too. Let's say you in a relationship and you got a friend that's like, why you with him or why you with her? They ain't no good. Oh, you should be with so and so. You deserve better. You can do better. That plays into your psyche.
But
Hmm.
in some instances, they legitimately are watching out for you. Some people are too close to a situation
Well,
to see that
that's
they are
true.
with a toxic
But
person.
once you've given that advice to somebody, they got to make it. It's time to back out and let them fix it, and let them work it
That's
out
true.
when they're
Don't
married.
don't nag.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
one
because you
thing.
told them and you giving them an opinion because things like you said, people change. I've seen where marriages started off horrible, where people were horrible. I know one couple, he used to beat her all through high school, and I was like, you would think the worst couple ever. Somehow he became a Muslim. They had kids, and best
Change
father
his
ever. I've
life.
been married. I've been married over 30 years now.
Change his
I'm
life.
I'm happy whenever people go through their healing. Like
Yeah,
it's hard and difficult to admit there is a problem, to admit that there is something that they can go through, and I'm always happy when people find some course of change to take control of their life.
but yeah, people just got to make it a priority and they got to know their triggers and you got to foster communication and hobbies and activities. Do something together. And you don't have to be going out. Play Monopoly together. Come up with games. Create games.
Facts.
You got to find common ground
Yeah,
outside
like
of
make a Minecraft world together or something.
hey. Some
Like
some people are gamers. I mean, play games or whatever together.
I like that's complete goals in my mind. Like the perfect stay-at-home date is like couch bed, Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings, and like we're playing Mario Kart or some farming simulator. Just something that you can intimately spend
That's true.
time together
Well,
with
I
them.
always say treat the one that you are fantasizing about. Treat the one you with like the one you fantasizing about. If you sending
Mm,
pictures and you want pictures there, send them to your husband, significant other, spouse. Send them to them.
yeah,
Send them random pictures. No one. People always say, "Well, you didn't ask for that." People like things done that they don't have to ask for.
yeah.
You know, people like surprises. Men and women, they like surprises, and don't surprise them with something. Like if you know a person don't like something, don't go do that and just say, "Well, I done that, but you didn't like it." Do something that you know that person will appreciate and like.
Mm. Yeah, man. You should definitely be looking out for each other, man. Like,
Tommy leads a very interesting life.
Oh, he does. Tell me, son, you over sexualized. You a freak. You're gonna have relationship issues as you keep this up, and you're gonna be on Viagra and other
Man
pills.
pays for
Take it easy.
brazzers.
and probably broke.
Yeah. Anyway, let's sum this up. I think we hit some very good key points today. You know, we talked about how over sexualization can lead to unexpected emotions and disconnect in a relationship.
Definitely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and how it's important to recognize because, like I said, it's an addiction that comes on slowly. You don't recognize what you've been on Instagram looking at women all day or men or whatever that you have become addicted. That's your drug. And that you got to watch out for those subtle forms of
Mm.
sexual over sexualization and
Yes, sir.
focusing more on the intimacy. You must focus on intimacy and you got to have open communication and shared activities.
And
Yes.
it feels very vulnerable, and it's
It
strange.
is
Like,
vulnerable, but
just going into a room saying like, "Hey, can we talk about something?" Immediate red flags going off in everyone's
but
head.
you got to be vulnerable
But
and to be in a
at the
relationship.
same time, you just
Definitely.
have to broach the subject if there is something that makes you uncomfortable. Like my current living situation, I have to speak about if something is overstimulating me or if something is going too much, because like sharing the space with people, you have to respect people's boundaries. Like
Hmm.
one thing about me, I have to have alone time. So as much as I love the idea of being in a relationship, as much as I am touch starved, there is going to be times in my romantic life where I'm going to need to separate myself
Oh
from
well,
the other
absolutely,
person.
and that could
And
be
you
scheduled.
just have to
Yeah,
like have that in the relationship to
I mean, yeah,
just say
you
it.
got as long as it's not too long. I mean, if you got to separate for a week or two, that's a problem. But
Oh,
everybody
but
needs
like
their
no,
day.
like give me
They
a
Nah.
day
couple hours to just like
Yeah.
go
A couple
play
hours.
Subnautica or something, like
like I said,
just to
yeah,
decompress.
everybody needs that thing. Like I said, be mindful of your media consumption and the influence that it has on you.
Yeah, because if you start looking, like I said, you looking at porn all day, all you got one track mind right now.
So
I can
Tommy, go ahead.
I can say like energetically looking at it and having been in that energy myself, when you are in the low vibrational, the petty, the angry, the upset, the envy, the jealousy, all of that emotions, you strive on other low vibrational things like pornography. And you have to supplement the feeling that you would get from actually doing that or processing your emotions
Well,
with
that's
the artificial stimuli. And that's why it becomes an addiction, and that's why it becomes so strong. Like I've seen videos of like this. I remember this one like 16-year-old who's like, I'm getting bad grades and my mom is pissed off and I don't care. Just go porn, go porn, go. And like legitimately his entire brain just revolved around this, and
of
looking
course
at
it's
it as
that's why we call it an addiction. And like I said, when you're in a relationship, one or both people suffer when you don't kick that addiction. And that's why this is such an important topic that get glossed over and most people don't dive into it or they don't even know how to fix it. And and these are the things. That's why it was so important that we put out the things to watch for and how to go and overcome it. Because, like I said, most people don't even know that this is a thing and that it even
Yeah, I
exists.
was just about to say they don't even
Yeah,
realize
they
it
don't
most
even
of the time.
realize what's going on until it's too late. And you can't,
Hmm.
your relationship is broken up. It's like most people when you cheat, cheating, like, well, why are you cheating? They don't even know why. Why were you with Torrance? You watch Cheaters. and different
Yeah,
things. Most people don't even know. But if you do not fix these things, it's never going to get better. It's not going to fix itself. It is only going to get worse. And it's not only going to get worse, it's going to follow you relationship to relationship to relationship until you
yeah,
finally realize what's going on and get it fixed. That's why people be on the fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth marriage or relationship and can't find anybody because they haven't fixed those things. And so it's,
And that's the same process that goes back to any issue. Why do I
Mhm.
always have the same terrible jobs? Why is my body already always hurting? What are you doing that is the same situation? If you're always dating horrible people, stop going to the same kind of place where you
Mhm.
meet those people. Stop accepting that as a viable option. I just watched Waiting to Exhale the other day. Love that movie. And
Went way back.
one of the girls, Robin, she was just like, "Oh, Russell is perfect." It's like, "Oh no, it's Tony, it's Martin. No, this one's perfect. I'm over that one." And like at some point you have to look at like Taylor Swift at, "Hi, I'm the problem, it's me." What
But
are you doing yourself? And there are changes that have to be made. And that alone is very scary because that means you can't pass the blame on someone else and have to take accountability and responsibility for where your life is at. And that's really fucking scary for people that have spent their entire life running from their own problems.
so I'm gonna ask Tommy Sutton. You still out there? Take some questions now. Tommy Sutton, did you know that sexualization, over sexualization, was a thing? Because you obviously have been getting over sexualized.
Tommy.
Oh,
She was.
so waiting on him to respond. I just got one more point, man. Like a lot of
Oh,
people
go
just
ahead.
don't.
We in question and answer. This is now our question and answer phase. Now,
Yeah,
I didn't want to beat this topic down to death. I just wanted to bring it up, and I wanted to hit the key points of how to overcome it because we don't want to be with the complaining narrative. Everybody always say what the problem is, and they go back and forth over the problem, and then they give
Yeah.
out generic things about trust. Oh, you got to trust. Well, how do you trust? What you
yeah,
can't trust somebody you don't spend time with. You
yeah.
can't trust somebody that you don't do things with on a regular.
True.
And if you don't, communication is a practice. It's not something that you just do. Most people don't know
Yeah.
how to communicate. You need work, and sometimes you need help, and you need people to help you communicate. That may be counseling or whatever you need.
Mm-hmm.
So people need to take these steps and realize where they're at, and then get with their partner to see about getting help. See Tommy Sutton up in the chat. I don't. Is Tommy Sutton still there?
And see now, man, we in the area where hooking up with people, random people, is like a thing. What people don't realize is every person that you have sex with, you got an emotional tie to. So if you say you got a girlfriend and you fucking 10 other girls, you emotionally tied to all 10 of them women. Your relationship is never gonna work. It ain't because of it's because of the cheating, but you can never genuinely say I care about this woman because you tied to 10 different women. Emotion, you cannot separate emotions and sex. It's one. You're never gonna be able to separate the two. There's no such thing as casual sex. It always comes with consequences.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Tommy Sutton,
Absolutely.
Tommy Sutton say he turned her down because he was tired from working 12 hours yesterday.
So Tommy
You
is the
can make it
prime
right there.
example of being over sexualized
That's
and loving it.
self-care. That's
And loving it.
self-care.
Nah,
Yeah,
he
Tommy
loves
said, "You know, I don't have to take every fish that jumps out at me.
that's true.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Someone
He
get Jeff
lying. He went.
Goldblum."
Tommy know he went over there. Stop lying, bro.
Nah, Tommy, don't worry. I'm sure life found a way.
Yeah, she came to him.
I know it was he said it was hard. I bet it was
I
hard
mean, you
though.
don't want to be pushing
In
rope.
more than one way. She
Here
sending you
we
them
go.
pictures
Here
and
we go.
I bet it was. Yeah. Also, like
Yeah.
I said, I don't know if I put it. Women pause on some of them toys. Like I said,
Right.
man can't compete with toy. Give
Yeah,
your man
Hope
well,
you.
a
I
chance.
hope you went and got that honey pack for you went over there. Shit.
nah,
But
but
even
for
at
real
that,
though, any women out there, the rose quality.
Ain't that some shit?
no,
No,
say
mine
if you want to,
mine straight up died. Like
But
mine perished.
but
ain't that some
that's if
shit?
you want to even be in a relationship, because some people
Yeah.
just don't want to be in it. It just ain't
Yeah, I mean
for them.
there are some people that are asexual that just they don't enjoy sexual intimacy like that, or that doesn't it's just not something that is for them. You have aerosexual people that are just like I don't want a relationship at all. I like my job, I like my friendships. I don't desire having a romantic
Well,
relationship.
I have a question then. Can you be w- as a man? Can you be with a woman, or as a woman, or can you be with a man that doesn't satisfy you?
What is
Yes,
satisfaction? What is
yes,
being satisfied
because
though?
there are many
No
women, and
orgasm.
I know a person. No, because there are some women that have gone through traumatic experiences, molestations or beatings, difficult relationships in the past. I know a couple that one person is a retired veteran, and due to his PTSD, that does not occur for him. And the wife in the relationship went through a very abusive um and physically and sexually assaulting relationship. And
Mhm.
so when that part of the brain starts to come online, it is associated with trauma and hurt and pain, and she starts to freak out. So that's so what Tommy said. So for them, their relationship is very beautiful, supportive. They have one of the best married romantic relationships I have ever seen. And
Well, if it's
as
based
I
on intimacy.
understand it, they do not have sex. As I understand it, I mean,
But
again, I'm
but
not
I
going
get that.
around
I
asking.
get that, but that works out. That's a team decision.
Okay,
So,
But
let me
and that goes
respond. Let
back
me
to any
respond.
relationship.
okay.
So, as far as you said, being satisfied and getting an orgasm, that's never going to happen for a man because if you poke the hole long enough, you gonna come.
Okay, well, I get that from a man. And I mainly was asking that from a female point of view. Can
But
you have a
studies
successful
show that most
marriage?
women don't have orgasms when they have sex.
Because
It does.
it's not because it's not gonna happen, it's because it's a lot more difficult for women to get to that point because A, the fun button is in a more difficult to find location, and not
No,
everyone
no,
even
You
yeah.
just
is
ain't
aware of
tall
that.
enough to reach it. That ride is just too big. You got to be a big
Some
boy to ride that
some men
ride.
don't know how to elicit that response in women. Some women are traumatically blocked and
But
do
I
not
always
have that
say,
But
occurrence.
some of those women do live. They live happy lives.
And yeah,
they
like
Never
but do
getting
they
that's
it.
the
really
thing.
though?
You don't
Do
have
they
to have
really?
sex or involve yourself in any of this to live a happy and fulfilling life. It's just like a bonus.
But if you with somebody, if
No,
you
that's what I'm
both
saying.
got means and capabilities to do it, I mean,
No, I'm saying that's what I'm
as a
saying. They
woman,
married and they
I mean,
have
because
sex all
think
the
about it.
time, and they're
My
fine with
thing
not
is,
coming.
if I got to be this high to ride that ride, and I don't meet that requirement, then I turn around for my own safety. Because what's going to happen when someone that's get at the proper height get on that ride and take that ride on a journey and ride that roller
I mean,
coaster
it's
on
not
down?
always about a size. Like, not everyone has to be equipped with like a fucking
Well, it doesn't
cervix
even at
sphere.
that. But that's what happens if you're there and you're in a relationship. You cannot satisfy her, but someone else can. We're talking emotions here. Why do you think guys that millionaires come home and catch their wives with the mailman, the personal trainer, the pool boy?
Well, I don't
Because someone is
necessarily.
giving them attention.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's always sex. It's
Yeah,
just
because
more
in those
somebody's like
instances,
actually paying attention to them.
yeah, in those instances, the millionaires, they did a lot of work to get and maintain that money.
Yeah,
Their
they never
life,
at home.
they're never at home, and when they are at home, they're exhausted. And so, like
But
that goes back to like, do you communicate? Do you make an active effort
But
to
as a
keep that
woman, how do you,
relationship alive.
okay, it was a clip, and I should have brought the clip. It's a clip going around. You guys can check it out on social media where this guy, and I don't know if it's for real or it could be staged, where this guy set his girlfriend up that he was taking care of, and they had a relationship going, and this guy was finna go knock her boots off him, but when they walk in the bedroom, it's her boyfriend in there with a camera crew. And it's like, well, what's this? She's like, I've been with you. You said you want to be together. And she's like, well, you want me to be real? You don't do shit for me.
Mm.
But basically, that's just what it is.
Oh
Hey,
no,
I got
I
me.
saw that. I saw
Yeah,
that, bro.
he got needs, and she's like, "This is real as I can be. You don't do it for me. You ain't tall enough to ride the ride. He was about to
Yeah,
knock shit out or whatever. I mean, what can I say? But
yeah.
but two, is she
That's a hard way to find out.
okay? Yeah, but how is the right way to, besides ending the relationship altogether? How do you come home as a woman and tell your man he ain't shit?
Well, you got to ask yourself this question: are you in a relationship because of the sex is good or what?
Yes, you're in the relationship. Sex is a part of it. That's called
It doesn't
consummating
have
the
to be,
marriage.
but does it have to be
It does
good
not have to be. It's
or
like
perfect for your relationship to be good?
You have to be satisfied. In
Let's
my
actually
opinion,
check. Let's actually check. Check. Does the sex have to be on point for the relationship to last?
I want.
I mean, I think that really depends on each individual person. Like for some
And even after
people,
we end this, I
it
want to
is
continue.
an integral part. For other
Yeah,
people, it's just
exactly.
like
For a
I could
man,
take or leave it.
but we're speaking from a female point. Before a man, I'm pretty sure it has to be, unless
Nah,
you,
like
you
I have
know,
met plenty of men in my life that were not gay, so you can immediately not don't have to do that. Not all the men I know in my life are gay. But like not every man like desires that.
not the comment I wanted.
It didn't even cross my mind for real.
So we got a comment that say, "Is the relationship all about feeding the flesh?" It is not, but the flesh got to eat sometime.
And I think that, like I said, the only
Like,
way
how
your
do you
man
even
can
get to
be
that point?
satisfied sexually in a relationship is she just don't give you any.
Exactly, as a man. Now, I can only speak from a man point of view. I know women may can say, well, it doesn't really matter. He's
Yeah,
nice.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
can
So it don't
deal
have to
with being
be.
bored and none. But really, this is a it's like a magnetism that should be there. It's like an energy burst way I look at it. When you're attracted to a person, you male, female. Well, we're just gonna go with tradition. I know today is all over the damn place, but
Right.
typically in the universe, there's a man and there's a woman. There is a strong attraction. Man likes woman.
Yeah.
Man will do anything to get woman.
Yeah.
Man just want to touch woman.
That's
Yeah,
it.
and his everything in his body is just gearing up and firing, and it's just these emotions or whatever. Man gets with woman. Man releases energy into woman. They create a child.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be in a joyous occasion. Not man is woman and woman is like, oh shit, okay, this is it. Okay, I got a child. you know, this is why I say, from a man, I don't think most men,
We don't
unless there's something
experience
wrong,
that.
they don't enjoy sex. For most men that enjoy sex, I don't think they really marry women that unless it's for alternative reasons, for money that they've met that they will marry women that they don't connect sexually with. It's in some type of way. Now, typically in the begin for a man, they connected in the beginning, but then like say people change, they developed expectations through porn and other things or whatever, and they kind of got apart from the woman. But originally, usually the man enjoyed what he was getting to even
Yeah.
get the relationship or he
Honestly,
left.
yeah.
Like I
Especially
said,
from men's
for the women
perspective,
though.
it's hard for us not to connect sexually with a woman because we just most of the time we just looking to get our rocks off anyway.
But I would ask, women, how can you be? Women can do it. Women have proved that they can be with men that they don't find
Yeah, because they looking for
even
security.
attractive. Women can even be with men that they don't even find attractive.
Yeah, because they looking for security. They looking for something different in a man than what we looking for.
I guess. I don't know. These young girls are
As
different though. I don't know. These
long as
young
you
girls, they
have the
gonna call you out.
chemistry, I think if your chemistry is good,
But how can you have chemistry if you don't? if you're not
Kim,
there.
Chemistry is just the energy exchange. It does not
yeah,
have to be the physical energy exchange of bodies connecting. Chemistry is like when people talk to each other. Like, for example, when Shu and I first had our meeting through Sky's the Limit, as soon as we got on the video call, there was instant chemistry, instant comfort of being able to comfortably talk to someone about something. That's chemistry. The equal exchange of energy back and forth. I give you this, you give me that. That is chemistry. That is one of the roots of a
or
relationship.
you could take me and Crypt Keeper on this show. Our chemistry is dynamic.
Yeah, that's a chemistry. They're not
Yeah,
they're
but you're
not doing
not
the devil's
married.
tango.
And there's the thing that you're not in a it's a
You're not
different.
gonna you not. It's no way you marry somebody that you don't have chemistry with. It's just not possible.
But I'm just saying. Well, I mean, yeah, some people do it. Like I said, they got alternative motives. But like I said, if you got together and you're in a relationship, this is how we got to this point where people are playing with toys, roses, themselves, and porn because the person they with doesn't turn them on, and now they got these expectation that these people
Yeah,
at this
you should
point
have
can
left that
never
person.
fulfill.
You should have known that from the first night that she didn't
Well,
turn you
because
on,
it
though.
doesn't get that people change. I mean, I remember relationships I've been in. You get in it and it's good at first, but then over time, you don't communicate. You
Yeah.
go off and you get these expectations. They get this expectation. Now y'all so far from each other, and it's like,
I
I
mean,
heard
people gonna
something. It was
physically
who are
like
you?
change.
You are not the person that I originally got with.
Physically and emotionally, you're definitely both going to change. It's
Yeah.
the dynamic of your
But you got to
relationship or your
communicate.
marriage
But
is
you
going
got
to
to get back
depend
on
on
the
that.
same road. And most people at this point in their life, they're not even on the same damn road. They're on different highways.
and that's
Listen,
perfectly fine.
that is not
Not
fine to be
not
on a different
everyone is
highway.
meant to stay in your life forever.
But if
Not
you're
every
married, you
relationship is
are.
meant to go to the ends of the earth.
But we're speaking specifically to married couples and people
Not
in.
everyone's meant to be married forever.
What then?
There's
No,
some people
shit
that
happens. Shit
shit
happens.
I
So
mean,
happens.
things happen, but
Sometimes people
technically,
sometimes
technically,
there is a divorce because people mutually do not feel that anymore and want to explore something different in
but
their
that's
life.
what people work so hard to prevent. When you get married, it is supposed to be
yeah,
forever. We get
forever.
what happened. This is why
Can
we're giving this advice to try to get people from
can we
get
please throw
get on
away the
separate
word
highways.
supposed to be? Because it throws this huge blanket term that takes away the personality and individuality that this life
There is
and
no individuality in a marriage. You are in a partnership. And
Yeah.
then there's individuality, but the thing is, you're
but
thinking
that
as a
marriage
team.
itself becomes its individual unit. It
Yeah.
becomes like, so y'all haven't seen Steven Universe, but someone else might have. In it, there is the two characters,
Mhm.
Sapphire and Ruby. And when they fuse together, they make the one individual Garnet that the entire fandom knew as the individual before they knew Ruby and Sapphire were separate entities. The
Well, that's the way
marriage
marriage is supposed to be.
itself, yeah, but Garnet herself was different from every other fusion in the world. And you can look at that as in form of marriage. Your marriage should be a beautiful harmonic mixture of what makes you unique and what makes them unique.
Well,
That
that's true.
person should be able to meet you at where you did not meet yourself and show you that, like, hey, we can figure it out together.
That's true.
Everything else can be just an extra thing. Like,
But you can't do that if you're on separate highways
No, you
in a
can't.
team. You
But
can't do that if you one way and she's another one. There has to be unity. You got to be on the same road with a common goal together for that to even happen. I mean, it's like being on a football team. Team win championships. Individuals don't. It's the team that win the game, and this is a team sport. Why? This is why communication and knowing which play is so important, and knowing each other's triggers and knowing when somebody else is slipping away, going off, taking a U-turn and an exit. Up, notice that she's playing with that rose a little too much. Hell, when I get home from work, she's not already satisfied and sleep. Oh, I see he going and he's watching his porn or whatever. They're taking these U-turns, and this is how we're trying to bring it back. Play
that's when you
together.
that's when you have that conversation. Hey man, something's wrong. We off. We off.
But most people are gonna lie. oh, something wrong. You're gonna have to call it out. This might be unpleasant. Look, boy, I know you've been in there playing with yourself. Look, that damn Rose, I gotta get my time in too. Let's schedule the time. Well, me, you and the Rose or whatever.
That's when you become. I mean, that's plays on you how comfortable you are with the person, or I can. I'm gonna use me as an example. A couple years ago, me and my wife were going through a rough part, and I, caught feelings for somebody else, and I told her something off because I shouldn't be feeling like this for somebody else. So we got to figure out what's wrong with us.
No, and that is an incredible thing that I admire so much about you, Shad, is your sense of awareness in yourself. Like, I know I've had annoyance with it in the past of how you feel like, oh, like I don't get anxiety, I don't get depressed. It truly is a sense of awareness. Like, you are a wonderful example of someone that is not entirely run by the person that they present themselves as.
No,
And that is something that is incredible about you.
I appreciate that.
No, appreciate it. Well, we've got 10 minutes before we are on WDJY 99.1, where we have the pleasure of interviewing Joshua Hines. This man is an entrepreneur. He lives in Mexico. He's got a clothing brand. He makes music. He's in his hands is into everything. He's been world travel. He's been all the way around the world, and it
That
was a
literally
pleasure
sounds
to
like
meet
me.
him. I mean, he's really somebody that's well connected. That it was a pleasure speaking to him and getting to know him. So right after this at 9 p.m., go right on over. You should know this by now. WDJY.com.
Come
Uh,
check us out.
check us out. Tommy Sutton says squirting sensational. The
That's
female
my boy right
analog
there.
with the
That boy
rose
crazy,
in a
man.
threesome. See that man? Everything he talk about it is of a sexual nature.
Tommy
Yeah.
did not come to this world with a hinge.
No, he didn't.
Nah, he didn't. He definitely a different character, man. I love you, Tommy.
Yeah,
That man is the life of the party wherever he go.
that's Mr. Hillman, professor. You know what I'm talking about.
You know everything.
Well, cool. This
Oh,
has been a great show. Y'all know, like, always catch us on www.aliafter5.com. Check us out check our Discord out. We are really moving towards interesting topics in there. And, we promise to always bring you things that most people don't talk about or go deep into some of the things that you may or may not have heard.
yes, sir.
As our pledge. We plan to always be here for the embetterment and empowerment of you. We don't want to just complain, but we also want to give you solutions and help. There are 1,000 shows out there that are complaining and whining about problems. There's no shortage of problems in this world.
Nah.
Yeah, enough whinging. Start making
Yeah.
changes.
Let's step up. Let's change ourselves because we can't change certain situations you can't change, and you definitely can't change the world. You can only change you.
You want to change yourself, man.
That's the only thing that you really have control over is yourself and your reaction to the
And you
situation.
and what's funny is you don't even have all control over yourself.
No, that's the thing. You
You
don't.
really don't.
You you really don't.
You have to battle different thoughts that come to you from outside sources.
Free will is such an interesting thing.
You don't really have free will. You just think you do. It's a mental illusion.
It's
It's
I
kind of
definitely,
like being
see
you
free
definitely get
inside.
manipulated.
that's a completely different discussion because like energetically and spiritually, that's a completely different thing.
Free will is an illusion. It's
I
the
think we
same
get.
thing
I
with
think we get manipulated by everything.
yeah. We
Absolutely.
think we do. Well, I mean, we come out, we hear things, and then I mean, like I said, we get manipulated into sexualization and everything. We think we have control. That's how people get into addictions. I don't think
Yeah.
nobody consciously say,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna be a
smoke crack all my
crackhead.
life. Yeah.
Next week I'm gonna be a crackhead.
What do you want to be when you grow up, Jimmy?
Somebody told him, "Hey
Crackhead.
man, this shit got how you high as a motherfucker. You gonna feel great."
Yeah, it's a reason. No, I don't think free will to a degree. I mean, certain things you have to battle and you can overcome. But like I said, free will, just like free society and rights and certain choices. When we say, well, I chose. No, you didn't. You were manipulated. You were got it. It's like, yeah, you win. It's kind of like bowling when you throw the ball down the bowling lane, but you got the bumpers on the side.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
them bumpers.
Yeah, you threw the ball and the ball like, oh yeah, it's free as long as the ball's gonna go straight. And it can go either the ball got the freedom to go, left or right, but as long as it don't go too far and hit those guards,
Mm-hmm.
free thrown ball. That's
True.
kind of way my take on life. I could be wrong.
I
Anyway,
mean, I don't really think that there is a right or wrong. It's your take. From your
Yeah.
perspective, that's what's true. From my
there's right.
perspective,
Oh,
it's
there's some right
very
and wrong.
different.
There's right and wrong opposites attract. Absolutely. Certain things are right. Certain things are wrong. Can that pole flip? Yes, absolutely. It can. But there's definitely right and wrong.
Facts.
Just like there's north and south, yin and yang, definitely right and wrong. Now, I think that's one of the problems where I think we have fused the line today where we are kind of saying things okay that are not. And we're just going with it, and we're controlled by emotions, not hard. We're controlled by emotions, not reality in certain things, the common day reality, and what some would argue is fact.
Yeah.
So, but
That
anyway,
that
that
should
is
be a
not.
discussion.
Yeah, that will. We have to come back and have that discussion.
Is free
Anyway,
will
good
a
people,
thing?
huh?
Is free will a thing?
I like it. We might have to challenge that and come
Yeah.
back and ask.
We can dive into that.
We might dive in that next week. It's free will
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Y'all remind me of that. But yeah,
We'll do
join us
that.
next week. Well, we're gonna come back and see. Do you
Put that
really
in
have a choice?
Discord.
It's free will a thing.
Put that in Discord
Yeah,
right
it's free
now.
will a thing. Are you really free? We'll discuss that next week. Anyway,
Mm.
right now, let's log off here, get up your computers, and let's go to www. No, don't even do the www. WDJY 99.1 and click on the silver listen now screen and check this interview out with Joshua Hines.
Get
I'm
them
your host
streams up.
Ali, along with my man MD Red down at the bottom.
What up,
Of course, we
people?
got
We
Vanna,
holler at y'all.
Vanna the friendly witch. Check her out on Soul
Your friendly
Shine.
neighborhood super witch.
Yep, get some of her bracelets. Maybe that can help you. Maybe she got a
Soulshinejewelryandart.com. I can offer you energetic bracelets, smudging wands, or a personal reading.
can it help with sexualization and
Uh, uh, I I got a couple for like healing from sexual energy and
Ooh, nah,
activating sexual
he
energy.
want to
So
turn
like
up. He want something
it's like
else.
what side of the pony do you want to
you
ride?
got the vibrating bracelets. Let us- let
Yeah,
us-
that's definitely got some garnet in there.
I thought they call those
anyway,
dick rings.
that's been our
Carnelian.
time. We'll catch y'all next week. Y'all stay safe out there.
Holla.